Hey, how you doing? And welcome to another exciting episode of Technology Tuesday. Glad to be here. I'm your host, Greg Russell, here with my good friend and partner, Mr. Jerry Franklin Poe. And today we got an exciting episode for you guys. We got three tools that you need to know about that you may not be aware of that can help you save time, make money, and have fun at the same time doing it. So we won't hold off any longer. We're going to dive right in. If you are catching us live, put in the comments hashtag live and where you're tuning in from. And if you're checking us on our replay, put hashtag replay and let us know where you are tuning in from. With that, we are about to dive right in with today's show. Welcome and let's go.
All right. So we are back in the building, back in the studio, uh, ready to go live again for another Technology Tuesday. That's right, folks. You know what time it is. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. we are here. And I know, Greg, I just saw you post recently on social media that it's been 5 years now, like 5 year
Yes,
anniversary
sir. Yes,
of
sir.
when the first episode launched with the two of us together in the midst of the pandemic. And here we are 5 years later, still going strong. Technology has changed,
Quite a
but
bit.
the two of us have remained the same. Well, we may not look the same, but we have still the same,
Yes.
pretty much two people.
Yeah, yeah. And man, it's been, just made me reflect on a lot of the things. It's interesting because sometimes people will ask me about a software or something, and I know we've covered it in one of our shows. So it's just definitely been a fun, interesting ride, and I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad to be able to share some of the things we find, and I hope that it helps um, you in your business. And if you know someone who could benefit, then make sure you let them know all about Technology Tuesday, and we will continue to deliver as best we can content that can help you grow your business. With that, I want to share a couple things, man. There's a lot going on with AI, and there's a lot going on with technology, and there's a lot going on in the country in the U.S. where we are. Um, and so I think it's a challenge. At least for me, I find now more than ever, it's a challenge to kind of stay on top of these things. So I want to help you guys stay on top of a few things that you should definitely be on top of. And with that when I think about that, I had a couple website projects come through over the last couple weeks, and one of the things I had to talk to a few of my clients about is their privacy policy and terms of service. Like, you need to have these things on your websites today because Google will not index them if you don't have them. Facebook won't allow you to run ads because they look to make sure it's there. And then it's also just very, good for business that you have your legal stuff in order. Get your legal house in order. And sometimes when you're starting out, or if you're new, you may not have the finances to get someone else, a lawyer, to create this stuff for you. So sometimes what many of us have done in the past is just kind of copy some terms and service and just paste it in there. And now today with things like Chat GPT, you can just ask it to produce something for you. But that doesn't mean it's legally binding, and Chat GPT can be wrong, or any AI can be wrong a lot of times, because where's it getting its information from the internet. And so that all the information on the internet is all true, right? It's like you never found nothing on the internet that wasn't true. So listen, if it's grabbing it from there, you got to double check it. And there's been many times I would ask ChatGPT a question which I knew the answer to, and I would have to tell it, hey, that's not the correct answer. It's this, and even give it a link to if there was a link to share, and it would correct itself. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, and it would fix it. But you can't always 100% trust the stuff that it gives you, because it can just search the internet. So with that, I want to share a couple things with you guys. Jerry, I found something. Uh, Actually, you found this one, so thank you for sharing it with us. We're going to go ahead to the screen. And we'll talk about this service right here, and it is called getterms.io, right? And getterms.io, I'm going to jump to the homepage. Basically, it allows you to make compliance is hard, and they make it simple. So basically, they have products that will allow you to create your privacy policy, your terms and service, your cookie consent banner, all these legal things that you have to do because the internet is growing up right in front of our eyes. It's no longer can you just do stuff, you have to be compliant now. So some of these things are really important. And so, like when it comes to creating your privacy policy, if we go to products and service, they have a privacy policy generator, and it can help generate your privacy policy. And I looked at how they do it. It asks you certain questions, and then it will spit it out for you based on the questions it asked and your website, um, and which country you're in. So this is really good because it's not just giving you some cookie cutter privacy policy. It's actually looking at where you are, looking at your content, asking you certain questions that you can answer, and then creating one based on that stuff. So again, if you know kind of the right things to ask, it can create something for you. So Jerry, I don't know if you have any experience with this or your thoughts, but I think this is really good. And one thing that I want you to do, Jerry, is think about when was the last time you actually looked and updated your privacy policy?
So this was something that was more recent because we revamped my we launched a new website, right, like about a year or two ago. And well, we were in Florida at a conference together for, was it the Podfest, I believe it was,
Yes,
and we
sir.
were working that week. um and you were like, oh, you got to have this paid policy, and I'm like, word, like, okay. And so I was scrambling to get the language. So when I saw this pop up, I was like, oh, this would have made it so much easier, because it was like a day or half a day that I spent getting those pages together to have the right language on there for those policies, and having the specific ones, because there were certain ones you were like, you had to have these on your site, the new regulations, whatever it was. So yeah, I saw this, I was like, well, this would help me, number one, refresh what I got, because like, one, I think the setup that I had, I think it gave you three websites. So I have, just my main page, my main website, but I would have two other websites I could work with for the level that I got the account for. So I just saw it as, man, this would have been a big time saver than the amount of hours I spent trying to figure out how to put the language in there. It wasn't just like building the page. It's like, okay, what do you want the page to say?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is huge because it not only just does your privacy, but also does your terms of service, and it also does your cookie policy, which you need all those, and it does a couple others. Let's see what else it does, just to get an idea here. Consent management, that's the cookie one, and they also give you the cookie banner, the privacy policy, the cookie policy generator, in terms of service. But listen, this is all the legal stuff you need to set up, and I will tell you that how I believe you should do this because I've seen this and I thought it was so genius. So instead of having different pages for these legal things that you need, you just put all of it on one long page, right? Because typically you know, you don't need to have separate pages. You put it on all one long page, call the page legal. And then back in the day, Jerry, there was something called anchor text, and it's where you would use hashtag and a word to bring you lower on the page to bring you just to that page. So now instead of creating different pages, you put everything on one page and you use anchor text or anchor links to bring you to a specific page. So a part of that page. So if you have a place on there which is your privacy policy, it would be the page name, hashtag, uh, privacy, right? And then if you have terms and service later on the page, you could have page name, hashtag terms, which will bring you to the terms of service. So you just put everything all on one page. It just makes it so much easier. Then if anyone asks for any type of your policies or legal stuff, it's just / legal. That's just a little old school old school webmaster in me that's like, look, this is how you make it simple, and this is how everybody can get to all the stuff. So if you have something like this, I highly recommend you guys check out getterms.io. I'll bring it up one more time so you can see the URL. It's getterms.io, and you guys can check that out. I will just talk about pricing for right quick, just to show you they have several different plans. And if you are doing monthly, it starts at $12 a month. The free gives you, so many views and so much stuff, but the paid one gives you so much more. So consider that. Right, that's the monthly, and you save 33% if you are looking at the annual plan. Boom. So that is the first resource that I wanted to share with you guys today. Um, Jerry, I think that anybody who is serious about making money on the internet and who doesn't want to get sued should consider it. And here's what I think. I think that if you are at a point where you can't afford a lawyer and you can't afford to get sued, this is probably one of your best options. Um, I don't recommend you just asking ChatGPT to create you one, and I don't recommend you using a cookie cutter template to for your legal stuff, because those have holes in it, and lawyers can find stuff around it all the time. And it's also written in legalese, and most of the time you don't. Most of us don't understand all the things that are in there. Anywho, so something like this, I think, would be a great benefit because it's not just a cookie cutter; it's specific to you. So anyway, I'm gonna get off my high horse on that. Take care of your legal house. All right, cool. Um, Boom. So this next one I want to share is has to do with being able to securely share information. Listen, we live in this digital age, and sometimes you need to share information. Um, all the websites that are trying to help protect you with two-factor authentication, and you log in, then you got to get your they send a code to your phone. It's, you're always trying to protect your information. But what about the information you send and sometimes the information you receive? I found something that I'm excited about, Jerry, and it is called password.link, right? And password.link will allow you to secure things that you're sending when you're sending and receiving information. And also, if you're sending or putting that information in any of these chat systems like, Slack or Messenger, it allows you to basically create links that can only be viewed so many times or by a certain person. And then it won't work anymore. So you're able to create links that have information in it, and only those people can see it for a certain amount of time. So in the past, if you were to share your username and password for someone to get into your account, and you'd put it in Slack or Messenger, it's always there. If anyone ever comes across that message, if anyone ever gets access to that other person's account, it's always there. This way, with password link, you can, even if it's there, they won't be able to see it. So this is what I got. I highly recommend you guys check out. It is called Password Link. Jerry, you've ever been in a situation where you had to share sensitive information and wish you had something like this?
Yeah, man, that sounds like a good one too. Like you had mentioned it to me earlier today. I didn't get a chance to go through it thoroughly, but the idea of it making the idea now in terms of technology and how quickly we share stuff with people or partner with people on things, especially in our business where we're doing joint ventures. And sometimes we have to do like certain projects together where it's like you're all part of an event and say, okay, we got to share this and share that. The fact that you can make stuff temporary, it's almost, not permanent, does it sound like a good idea?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited what you can do with this because we just need to protect our information now more than ever because these hackers are real and they're up to no good. And we'll talk about prices right quick. So they have a free plan, and then they have plans that start at $40 a month and go all the way up to $85 a month. So that is basically, you can see what you get here if you look in the number of secrets you can create per month and what you can attach or can't attach based on the plan and how much stuff you get. So you can check out pricing right there. So that is our second resource for today. It is password.link. Make sure you guys go there and check that out, password.link. So now that we've talked about legal stuff and protecting, let's have a little bit more fun and talk about some things we can do with AI that I've seen a lot of people doing. And I want to thank you, Jerry, for finding this resource for us to talk about today. Um, and I want to share with you guys something called Photo GPT. So basically, we've all seen people using ChatGPT to create photos of themselves, and certain AI out there. I forget the one that was really popular for a long time with creating images. But there's several out there, including ChatGPT now can create its own. ChatGPT is the most popular AI out there. For a number of for the first year and a half, I don't think ChatGPT did images. So you had to use something else. The reason why I'm sharing this with you guys and what I thought was really good about this is I'm going to share with you guys that how you can do this and how complicated it can be with some of the others. But this makes it so simple because there's one spot and you can create all sorts of images of yourself that you can use on social media. So you can use this for professional images or just having fun, all sorts of things. You can make yourself a superhero woman. You can do professional photos for LinkedIn or just your socials. You can instantly getting fit. You want to get fit right quick? Go ahead and set yourself up in here. They can these cyberpunk images, right? So you can create. You have a lot of fun with this. Um, I know when I did it with the way I did it, I'm going to share with you guys. I had to upload so many photos and use so many credits and tie two programs together and wait all this time. And then I had to use certain prompts to ask for what I want. It had to be a specific prompt to get what I wanted. And it would generate the image. And if you didn't like it, you had to run the prompts again, and it would always use credits. And so the more credits you would use, the more money it would cost you, etc. But it was pretty complicated. I thought it was way more complicated than the average user would find enjoying trying to create the images. So I'm going to share with you what I did, and then I'll come back to this one. So um, I use something called Flux and something called Fal, and Fal is FAL.ai. And it uses Flux to create the things, and you create the prompts, and it will pull it. So I've used my images, and I had to upload so many. And here's some I was just playing with. Like this one looks similar to me. These do not. These look similar, very similar. Well, this one does. This one does. And here I create myself a superhero. And you can see I was playing with these, and I got one here with a black background as well. But again, this was complicated, and it's a lot to go through, and you have to have a um, GitHub, yeah, it was a GitHub. It's one of those code websites that you have to get. Long story short, if I had something like this, I think, Jerry, that it would be super easy and fast to have one source, one spot where I could just go and have all my images created that I could use for my social media. And remember, if you have an image like this, then you can crop yourself out. And I will tell you one thing I see, Jerry, one thing I see that most people don't realize, because a lot of times, if you want to use yourself on the web inside of a graphic, you can't be cut off. Like you can't have your shoulder cut off, or your head cut off, right? Because a lot of times you'll get photos, and it's a really nice photo of the person, but they're cut off, so you can't crop them out. Or if you crop them out, it's like just where is it cut off, it's just cut off on the photo, and you can't get it out. So I'm noticing these are not the person for most of these. Like this one, her hair is cut off just at the very top, but most of them you can see the full person. Like this one would be cut off. Like if you pulled her out, it would just be sliced right here. There would be nothing else. You wouldn't be able to see the full person. Most of these you could crop out. So I'm just noticing that you could crop out all of these. This you can crop out, so you don't need anything cut off. So it looks like they're very good at doing that for these photos. So, Jerry, I know you played with this just a little bit. What did you think of Photo GPT AI?
Well, officially, I'll know in about 15 minutes. So it takes time. It's not instant, which is cool. I mean, to me, that's like it's thinking about it. So I had to give it 15 photos, and it's processing based on those 15 selfies, like that is going to create um, its own version. I mean, like it's called an AI mod, based on an AI model of myself. So the fact that it's taken some time to generate it to me tells me, well, that's an indication that um the quality is probably going to be better than some of the other programs I've used where it was like a little bit faster and it just and I had three arms and seven fingers in some of the shots. So
Yeah.
some people know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
so yeah, I'm excited about it. Like I think compared to what I had done before, and we're talking basically what a year and a half. Like so the fact that we started this AI conversation. I remember when you presented Chat GPT to me almost 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, and
it
you
was
were excited about
2023.
it.
Yeah, 2023. Yeah.
Yeah. So to see where how much progress has been made in such a short period of time, to have something like this. It was so I thought it was and I'm not trying to take anything away because I know I have a lot of people that I know or friends that are in the photography industry, right? So I'm not suggesting we eliminate the industry or eliminate photographers, but sometimes you got to create something fast and you don't have time to schedule a new shoot or, to plan something out like, "Oh, I need to get something created." You have an idea. So this in no way is I think you're not advocating for this. I'm not advocating that, it's not as it is great to still have people come in and do real photos. Like I'm not saying this would eliminate the photographer. This is just another option when you need something real quick to generate for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Even when I did it with the those the other accounts, it too took some time. I had to upload 20. It was a minimum of 20, and it wanted different. It wanted different photos so it can get an idea of what I looked on both sides. If I'm looking up, looking down, if I'm wearing a hat, not wearing a hat, like it wanted a lot of really good photos. And it, when it asked me to make sure no one else is in the photo so it doesn't get confused. Um, but yeah, it took some time to generate. Like the AI is really looking at the different aspects of what you look like, so it can generate a decent representation of yourself. So cool, man. I want to share one more thing. Like, got a surprise for you guys. So for those of you guys who are still watching,
Well, here's something I'll add, Greg.
okay,
That's
go
something
ahead.
I'll add
Yep.
because I don't know if because you were just talking about your other experience. I don't know if your other experience did it ask you questions about your demographics? Like did it ask you your age, your eye color? So when before I even uploaded the photos, it asked me about my ethnicity, it asked about my age, and my eye color uh, before I even put the photos in. So I thought that was interesting that I was asking for those things about me. And so it's gender, eye color, age, and ethnicity is what it asked first before I even uploaded the photos.
Nice. Yeah, it didn't ask me anything. It was very technical. It was like, you know, um, buy these credits, create this account, and it what the truth of it wasn't user friendly as the average person would know what to do. I got some friends in tech world and some really good people who we kick ideas back and forth all the time, and they was like, "Yo, you gotta check this out." I created this step by step video on how to do this, and he shared it with me, and so I was able to just follow along. But the challenge of that is if something changes, which these things change all the time. Uh, one that you can't follow it. Two, if like I'm trying to say here, here I will jump back over here, show you this. Like if you go to the homepage, like this is what it's talking about, right? So this is file, and they're talking about recently used apps, and this is the Flux, which is this other one over here that you had to create an account with GitHub. That's what it's called, and it's like it doesn't have instructions on telling you what to do. You kind of have to either know what to do or have someone tell you what to do. So it was very, very non-user friendly. Whereas something like this, I know, is user friendly because that's what this is. It's like, hey, let's focus on just getting you represented in images that we can do, and so I'm just excited that they could take that process that I went through and make it user friendly for the average person so that they can create images and content and have fun with it, as well as be able to use it for their LinkedIn and their professional content that they're going to be creating anyway. So I'm excited about that, and that's what I think is the most important thing. They took that process and they just made it super simple for the average person. And so I got a super simple surprise for you guys. Jerry, we ready for the surprise?
Yep, yep, yep.
All right, cool. So, all three of these softwares that we shared today, which is all three of them, are currently at the time of this broadcast on AppSumo deal. So you can get them as a lifetime deal. And so if you jump over to AppSumo, you can see that get terms. You may have to be a Sumo Select member, or it's expiring in the next 10 hours. It looks like 10 hours, right? So um, again, if you want it for a lifetime deal, you can go grab it, or you're going to be paying monthly. So that's get terms. Password link is available there for a one-time price of $99, and they don't have codes for that one. You can just get it. So you could come here and read more about it, but it is $99 one time. And you can send up to 500 secrets and passwords monthly, for this. So that is the price. Again, a one-time price for a password link. And again, if you compare these to the prices that are listed on their website, these are the best deals. And also the last one, Photo GPT AI, also on AppSumo, starting at $69 for their first tier. So you can come here, check it out, and you can compare the prices that they have versus the monthly or subscription price on the website and see how much you can save. Okay. So with that, that is the big surprise. You guys can save some money if you want these things. So get those deals before they expire, because as you know, the AppSumo deals do not last long. They are there for just a short period of time. And if you are seeing these outside of the AppSumo deal, there's two things you can do. You can subscribe to their wait list, because a lot of times, a lot of deals come back. Not all the time, but sometimes they come back one or two more times before they may not come back anymore. So, just subscribe, and if you're patient, they may come back. Also, a lot of times you can find competing products that may do the similar, almost exact same thing if you are paying attention to what's going on in AppSumo. So just pay attention there. And if you really want it, go ahead and pay for it. A lot of times, they use these AppSumo deals to kind of get their business launched, and they never plan to stay on just a lifetime subscription. These companies are trying to make money like the rest of these businesses, and they do this AppSumo deal as a cash injection. And when the product is good enough, they are hoping that people actually subscribe to the service, or they upgrade. And I've done that in the past. So if it's something that's really good for you and your business, don't be afraid to invest in these companies. That's like what they're there for, and that helps keep those companies going, so you don't have them um, going bankrupt or closing their doors. And that has happened too. So the ones that you like, support where you can. With that, Jerry, I want to thank you for another exciting episode of Technology Tuesday. And make sure you guys hit us up in the group at technologytuesday.com. Mr. Poe, any last words?
I'm good, man. Have a great week, everyone. Look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, take care.